off the left. Adrian Broner was content for the most of the fight, by my opinion, to sit back and look for one punch and try to time it out.
Yeah. And Lee, way too many left hooks. You know, we talked about the left hook being, or I did, whatever, about the left hook being one of his best shots. He overdid it last night. He forgot about his counter right hand. Manny can't stop a right hand. We heard Freddie Roach say it on the podium after a fight one night. He just can't stop a right hand. So, well, I liked that Broner was going left hook crazy because that is his sweet punch. He forgot about the weakness of Manny, and that didn't help him last night for getting that right hand. Really didn't throw his combo at all. He really didn't. I think Broner thinks he won because he went 12 rounds. You understand what I'm saying? When you read so much of he's going to get stopped, I mean, there was a lot of he's going to get stopped. He's not going to make 10. He's not going to make 8. Okay, there was a lot of that going around. I think that got into Broner's head. Now, I think it was a victory for Broner that he was able to go 12 rounds and not look beat up. Garcia put better hands on Broner. I think Vargas might have even roughed up Broner a little bit more than Manny. Manny outworked Broner. Exactly what we thought going into this fight. He throws combos. He's in and out. You're not going to outpoint Manny Pacquiao the way Adrian Broner has fought in his career. He brought that same game plan to this fight, and it did not work for him. I gave him, I think, 2 rounds, Lee. It was 10-2 on my card. This was not a close fight. Like I said, I think Broner mentally, Broner won because he did not show up and put in the performance that everyone thought he was.
Yeah. What an interesting guy.
Sometimes that's a win, Lee. Sometimes that's a win.
Not in this case. After 5 rounds, they cut to Floyd Mayweather with Jim Gray, who has repeatedly asked Floyd Mayweather the same question since the minute he entered the building. I think we actually heard him ask Manny Pacquiao. I don't know. Somebody will have to go back and check the tape. But I'm going to say he was asked 30 times from the minute he stepped in to the minute he left the MGM Grand. He must have been asked 30 times whether or not he was going to fight Pacquiao. But after 5 rounds, they went to Floyd. And Floyd, for those of you who don't know, Floyd ringside is different than Floyd press conference Floyd. Floyd Mayweather ringside is actually an analyst looking for an angle, and he'd probably make an extraordinarily good color guy, from my opinion. He's a true study of the game. After 5 rounds, he said, it's a tactical fight, it's a chess match. He said it was either 4-1 or 3-2, but he wasn't really scoring it that closely. He goes, I could see the judges making a 3-2 discussion, but he goes, after 5, it's they're both in there playing a chess game. To which Gray then ended that series of questions with, okay, you've been asked a bunch of times, Floyd, you're watching it right now, are you going to fight Manny Pacquiao? Well, and he responded politically correct and said, well, let's wait till after the fight, right? Let's jump.
So that means yes.
Yeah, that does mean. By the way, that did mean yes. Which takes us to the end of the evening. The decision comes down. Manny Pacquiao retains the WBA welterweight title. Hurrah, hurrah. The city of Philippines have been saved. And so there are 2 pressing questions from Jim Gray, right? First question, will you fight Floyd Mayweather? To which Pacquiao responds politically correct. Tell him to come back to the ring and we will fight. Direct quote, I am willing to fight again to Floyd Mayweather if he's willing to come back to boxing. They then cut to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd, if you'll just nod your head, right? Just twitch your nose, just signal with a finger, send up a smoke signal, twitch a pencil, anything. Blink twice to let us know.
He could have lifted his leg to fart and they would have been like, that
was a yes, right?
Did you see he moved?
And Floyd literally stood there as still as he could just to create more drama about the whole thing. So I'll give him a whole lot of credit. That cuts to the interview with Jim Gray and Broner. These are direct quotes, kids. Can't make them up. This comes to us from CVS Boxing, and they actually left out what Jim Gray said afterwards, where he just cut the interview and said, okay, that's it. We're done here.
Yeah. You're not Floyd. I'm not Larry
Right,
Merchant.
right.
We're done
okay,
here.
so this is word for word quote from CBS, a subsidiary or the owner of Showtime Boxing. I beat him. Broner proclaimed to loud cheers from the crowd. Everybody out there knows I beat him. I controlled the fight. He was missing. I hit him more times. I beat him. Broner did not, in fact, Pacquiao hit Pacquiao more times. The Filipino champion outlanded him 112-50 in the fight. Outclassed in the fight, Broner ate one more sharp jab to end the frustrating night. This time, though, it came from Jim Gray. This is Broner. I'm 3-3-1 in my last 7 fights. I'd like to be 7-0 against you, Broner said. Jim Gray responded, well, that wouldn't mean much. We're done here. Broner's Broner, man. He's a quote machine.
Definitely not the Larry Merchant response of, if I was younger, I'd kick your ass, which we all know is a damn lie. So applaud Jim Gray for being real right there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That takes us to the press conference that went off an hour and a half later. As we stated at the beginning of this show, epic fat shaming in a passive-aggressive way against Dan Rayfield. I would put that in the title of the show, but I don't think anybody cares about Dan Rayfield as much as I do. Nah. But let me make it abundantly clear. He was fat shaming a fat dude about cheese on his burger, which was mind-boggling to me. And I thought, I'm just going to buckle in.
He said, do you really think you won? I think I won like you think you know you won cheese on your burger.
Dude. Now, come on, Dan. Don't get me started.
That ain't right, Lee. Oh, man.
Dude, that's epic. That's epic, Adrian Broner. If you can't win, say something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. That's how he gets his fights. We talked about that. Come on now. And you know in his next fight, Lee, he's going to say the same thing. I won. They took it from me because they're trying to get that Floyd money. Right? You heard him say that right after the fight.
Right.
Oh, they just want to make that money one more time with Mayweather Pacquiao. I get it. Whatever. Come on.
Here's my second question. For those of you who don't watch post-fight press conference, what the fuck was Tiffany Haddish, the comedian, doing there, asking ridiculous questions and making a mockery of that room? How you going to hook me up with some of that gear? What? What are you recording for? Like, what comedy bit are you doing with box? I don't have a problem with
Showtime. No, it's with Showtime, and it could possibly be Al Heyman's or advisor. You know, I did notice that too. I heard that. Post-fight.
You know me. I don't care about good comedy with boxing. In fact, that's the whole premise of this show, right? But if you ask me and I'm in a press room and I'm asked to ask questions, I'm not gonna go crazy out on a limb. I might have called. Okay, I'll call it. I would have asked Adrian Broner if he was fucking delusional and he needed to take medication. I would have, because he came off like he legitimately in his body feels that he won that fight. Where was he last night that he my comments afterwards, because he came out like he was on crack. I mean, I'm talking Billy Joe Saunders crazy.
And he actually said he wants to go back to selling bricks. If you heard him walking out of the ring into the hall of the MGM Grand last night, yes, he said that he had a comment of, man, they're going to have me selling bricks again.
Yeah.
He might be smoking those bricks instead of selling them, Lee.
And that, for all of you, is the extraordinary evening of Manny Pacquiao versus Adrian Stabone, the Broner. Social media was not at a lack of comments. Here are a couple of them really quick. Steve Kim, for those of you who don't know, at Steve ESPN Kim. He's got an ESPN gig now. God damn it.
Broner's always been a bully. Last night he was proved to be a bully again. He tried going after Jim Gray. He tried going after Dan Rayfield. Two guys that are not on his level, yet he's trying to pick fights with him. Adrian Broner has always let us down when he's fought in the elite fighters of this sport. And not only that, when he had that beef with Paul Malignaggi, I know there's a lot of Malignaggi fans that wouldn't be embarrassed to watch that fight with any Broner fan, because people thought Broner lost that night too. He's an intimidator. When you take it to him, he turns into a nobody. And then after the fight, all of a sudden I sell bricks. Hey, I'm 7-0 against you. I mean, come on, stop it. This has been a routine he does time and time again. This is his 4th defeat against his 4th elite fighter. For Adrian Broner to become anything in this sport, he must drop down a weight class. He cannot handle the guys at the welterweight division. His power is not there. He's a fighter's style who relies on power. So he's a gatekeeper for Al Heyman if he stays at welterweight. Possibly has one more fight in him if he was to go to junior welterweight and say fight Prograis, fight Jose Ramirez. These guys are smaller. These guys are not as big as the welterweight division. Like, Broner can't see any of the other guys in the welterweight division. I think his time is done there. Terrence Crawford, Spence, Thurman, it's over. It is over with these bigger guys. It's time for him to maybe drop down if he thinks he's going to still fight in the sport. I tell you right now, ESPN wouldn't have a problem putting together a Ramirez-Broner fight on ESPN. They just wouldn't, especially if the numbers are good with Pacquiao last night. So we'll see.
Here are a few quotes from the old Twitter machine on the fight. Shout out to all of these people. At Big Mezzi, what a name. Broner was getting beat so bad that even Manny Pacquiao's wife couldn't stand to watch it, which is funny because they did do that cutaway. Elton Sykes, Broner tripping if he thought he won this fight. I love reading everybody's quotes. I can't read that one because I'll just be branded racially insensitive. Steve Kim, ESPN, said Broner had lost the fight, that there is no doubt at all. I think I've covered pretty much, that's the general sentiments. Everybody is obsessed with the Broner, I outboxed him. And then it says on one guy's feed, this guy named Justin, Broner, I outboxed him. Soulja Boy, outboxed him? Question mark? Let's see, is there anybody with any original quotes? Broner looking at the judges after his fight with Manny Pacquiao. It's a meme. Good for them. Anything else that's worthwhile? Seriously, this is a good one. Broner was getting beat so bad that even Manny Pacquiao's... no, it's another one of those. God damn it. Nobody with anything original. They're now memeing Broner dancing in the ring. Lean with it, dab with it. Hit them folks now, stab with it. That's funny.
Listen, I think we went over where Broner goes. Now we need to talk Pacquiao, Lee. How did Pacquiao look last night to you?
He looked like Pacquiao. He looks like a guy who doesn't have jet lag and didn't train against Jeff Horn. He looks like the Jesse Vargas, Manny Pacquiao, who fights a good tactical game with his speed. He was mixing up his combination. I think the big addition that I saw in this fight, that credit to Freddie Roach, who's literally that guy who can make anybody into a fighter. I didn't see the jump in, jump out. They took that out of his game so that he didn't have a chance to counterpunch him because clearly Manny Pacquiao's a little bit slower. So he just sort of let his hands go, and he really legitimately worked behind a jab like a good structured fighter. He fought a smart fight.
Yeah. No, and got to give you credit, Lee. I never thought this rematch was going to take place. I thought the fighters fought too late in their careers. The first fight wasn't great at all. No one was impressed with Pacquiao's performance, so it would just go away. You've shoved it down my throat for 2 years, or shit, it's 15, 16, 17, 4 years now. 4 years later, and it looks like Manny has set himself up for the rematch that you've been saying was going to happen for a while now. It's hard to see this thing not taking place. Floyd needs the money. Listen, people, Floyd wouldn't have been there last night if he ain't looking to fight Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. Floyd would have said right away to Jim